So you're looking to add group listings to your shop for Christmas or maybe just for Q4 in general. But you're dragging your feet on it a little bit because perhaps you're just not quite sure how to set these up, which could possibly leave you feeling a little bit intimidated. Or maybe you're just thinking it's a ton of work. Well, this 3-part video series is aimed at making your group listings stand out in search results, which could result in massive profits in your Etsy POD shops. In the first video here, I went over how to niche down within the Christmas group niche, and then how to add something new and valuable to the market, all based on research. And I'm going to make a big and bold claim here. If you take massive action on this video series, it could lead to having more profits during Q4 than you've ever had before. Today, we're going to cover how I set these group listings up in my Etsy shop and why I do it the way I do. We're also going to cover some group Christmas mock-up mistakes that you're going to want to avoid. And in the next and final video of this series, I will show you how I use Printful to sync as I go or fulfill these orders. I do use Printful for the type of group listing that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And I do have a video all about fulfilling orders with Printify. And I'll leave that linked up here and down in the description below in case you wanted more information about that. I'll also leave a link to Printful down in the description in case you wanted to give this a try. I'll take a quick minute to just motivate you about group listings before we jump into the tutorial. What I consider my very first Q4, I was about a full year into my Etsy shop. I made $33,000 profit that calendar year from January through December, with nearly all of it coming from the latter 6 months. And $15,000 of that profit came during Q4. Nearly half of the profit that I made for the whole year, nearly half of that was earned during October, November, and like the first week or two of December. And out of that $15,000 profit, 6,000, probably closer to 7,000, was all off of one group listing that I had created in my shop. Now, I had many group listings. I was taking a serious stab at this. So it's not that I put one group listing out and it paid off. I was consistently putting out group listings for a few months, trying to get some traction there. And it certainly paid off. This particular one I put out Cyber Day, Monday weekends. It was one of the last ones that I put out, and it was something that I had been improving. It was a listing that had kind of been improved over time over the last like 2.5 months in that time. And then finally I put it out that weekend, and over the following 2 weeks, it sold like bananas. And I made nearly $7,000 profit from that one group listing. Okay, so without further ado, we designed these designs here in our last video. Please do watch that video if you haven't already, so you know how much research went into each decision that was made during the design process here. This really is the glue of your Etsy shop. It will make you or break you, your designs and how much design research you're putting into them. And if you're able to stay on trend, which is pretty easy, what's harder is to make something new and valuable to the market while still staying in the trendy vibe. I show you exactly how I did that for the designs that we're using today in this video here. So it is easy to be on trend and look like everybody else's design. It is a little harder to be on trend and stand out from everybody else's designs. And so, of course, the trick is to stand out in search results with truly new designs, not recreations of what is already out there. Today, I'm going to show you how I create a listing from scratch in Etsy. It's going to take a few minutes the first time we do it, But then we can just duplicate from that listing and change the pieces we need to as needed. It's really quite quick once you just start being able to duplicate. And I will show you how I duplicate it also, and what that might look like when I put my next listing together with that duplicated listing. Something to have in mind here is that your listing will not be connected with anything. It's kind of an empty listing. It's not connected with Printify. It's not connected with Printful. You're not pushing anything from your companies, from your POD companies into your Etsy shop with it all linked so that the print on demand company knows, okay, well, that's this size and this design. It's completely empty. There's no connections here. However, I'll show you how you can set everything up with Printful so that the order will go to Printful once someone purchases it on Etsy, and it'll show you on Printful that, hey, this isn't synced. And in the next video, I'll show you how to sync it in Printful. It's not difficult. The reason I like to sync as I go, which means sync after I make a sale from it, is because I'm able to produce many, many, many more listings than I would have if I were taking all that time to go back with my print-on-demand company and either pull SKUs over or try to pre-sync things. With a group listing like this, there's just many, many variations. There's numerous products because we're going to put adult sizes, we're going to put youth sizes, we're going to put toddler sizes. So we're going to put baby sizes. So there's going to be many products. And then there's oftentimes many different designs in that group listing that someone could choose from. Or you might decide to do more of a personalized one where you can have someone's name placed on the design or the year or something like that. We're going to jump on the computer and we're going to get started. I'm using an Etsy shop that I created to teach from, and I recently started to post digital files in it that I thought would help Etsy sellers. I've been using it in my membership. And if you are in my membership, please don't purchase any of these things. They're over there for you. They're free over there. If you wanted to pick up one of these font files that you're about to see when I open my Etsy shop, it's called Simply Shawna here. I'll leave a discount code down in the description for you below that you can use if you decide that you want to get one of those. All right, so let's hop over into our Etsy shop. Here we are in my Etsy shop. I will leave a link if you're at all interested in the Dalmatian font, which has been very trending on shirts, which made me want to put digital files together for it. There were no Halloween ones. So now I think there are, but I was the first one with the Halloween one ready to go. I wanted to support my members by, providing them with something that I thought would be really helpful. I will leave a link down below, a discount code if you were interested in picking any of these up. And definitely do subscribe if you want to see a future video. I'll be filming it before this one goes out because I'll probably drive some traffic to my shop with this video. But it's been really an interesting experiment getting 10 sales with just very little effort in this shop. So looking forward to sharing that with you and why that is with you. So we're going to go to the top right corner and hit add listing. I'm going to select physical item, another company or person for who made it, a finished product for what it is, made to order, and I need to go ahead and add my print provider. I'm going to write Printful here. I'm going to toggle off my listing showing that Printful is my print provider, showing the name. For my description title, I'm going to write apparel printer. I'm going to write they assist with printing my designs onto high quality apparel for about the production partner. For the location, I am just going to Google real quick the location, and I'm using the Charlotte location because there's a few of them. Charlotte, North Carolina. For the question, why are you working with this partner? I'm going to say I don't have the technical ability or equipment to make it entirely by myself. I'm going to say my role is that I design everything and my print provider does everything for me. Now we've added our print provider that we're going to be using, so we're ready to continue. Now we're inside the listing. We've already done our SEO and our tags. So the design that we're going to be working with today is Cousin Crew. It's a Cousin Crew set, again, that we designed together in the last video. And I will leave that video linked down below along with an SEO video. I'm not going to go into right now how I pulled this SEO, but I did it real quick with the strategy that I like to use. Just make sure you're using a strategy. Your design is the most important piece, but you want to make sure that you're putting good SEO on that design that you're working so hard on. Someone is taking a stretch, and he wants down out of my lap now. Okay, so after our SEO is all set up, it's time to take care of the other pieces. A reminder, we're doing a Cousin Crew type listing, and we're doing it in the format of the blank cousin, the bougie cousin, the merry cousin, the drunk cousin, the nice list cousin, the naughty list cousin. So this is a really popular format for group shirts, and we've niched it down to cousins. When I do listings like this, I like to have at least 12 to 24 phrases, depending on the type of listing it is. One like this, more like 24. Options, preset options that we're going to put in the drop-down menu, and we'll get to that part of the listing in just a minute, for my customers to choose from. We're also going to place a custom option in there, but we don't want to put too much work on our customer. We want to put as many popular types of cousins that we think might resonate with a customer. The way that you're going to find that is by doing research in the cousin niche to see what types of cousin shirts sell, so you can capture that with your options that you're placing and your variations for a listing like this. While we're doing mock-ups, let's address a couple of mock-up mistakes we don't want to make. One, if you use a mock-up that shows pajama bottoms, those can be great and they can really help sell your t-shirts, but make it abundantly clear that they are not going to receive the pajama bottoms. It might seem obvious to you or I that they're not going to receive that. There was no way that they could choose it or sizes for it or information about them in the photo cards, but for every 10 customers you get, one of them is going to be like, I'm so disappointed that I didn't get the pajama bottoms. So put a little disclaimer on your main mock-up photo, shirts only or something like that. Also put it in your description. Second, if you have children's sizes available in the drop-down menu, then do not use the word pajamas or pajama shirts in your SEO. There are special rules for selling pajamas for children. Certain things that have certain criteria that have to be met. And even though we're not actually selling pajamas, we're selling t-shirts, we can't market them as pajamas to kids. I've gone ahead and dropped all of our photos in here. Choose the one that you think, I've got 18 different phrases showing here. Choose the one that you think is the best, but please don't duplicate this listing a bunch of times, throwing each one of these different options to the front. It's really not adding any value to the Etsy marketplace or to search results. The customer gets the idea. Just choose the one that you think is going to resonate with people the most to be your first mock-up photo. I think I'm going to go with this one. Don't forget to put other cards in, like a color chart. I'm not going to take the time to do that right now, but this person's done it really well. They tell you what kind of shirt you're getting in the colors chart so people aren't guessing. Make sure you have your sizing guides all there. They've got an extra little piece there for about all sales being final. You might consider, if you have some 5-star reviews, highlighting some of those in one of your photo cards, and then giving some important shop info if you want to. Also take your mock-ups and show a couple of your designs featured on just one, maybe flat layer model mock-up. And you can also kind of mix up your group mock-ups to a couple of different styles there that people will be able to see as they're thumbing through your images. Now, in the one we're doing today, we're going to stick with all one color since we have different products available all in one listing. Next, we'll have to go through and we'll have to put our description. I'm not going to take time to do that right now. We're going to come back to the price and the quantity after we do variations. Notice variations is kind of grayed out right now because we need to choose the category first. So we're going to go down and choose our category. I'm going to choose t-shirts. Next, we're going to go up and do our variations. And well, this is going to seem like a lot of work. But remember, we only have to do this one time, because from now on in the future, we'll just be able to duplicate from this listing, and all of that's going to be there. With Etsy, you could put up to 2 drop-down menus. And this is your variations. One of those drop-down menus or variations is going to be your products and their sizes. The other drop-down menu or variation is going to be your phrases, the bougie cousin, the drunk cousin. So before you do this part, sit down and figure out the products that you're going to offer. If you are doing something probably like a cousin related one like this, you're going to want all the way from baby sizes to adult sizes. For the listing we're putting together right now, I'm going to do baby bodysuits. You don't want to call them onesies because onesie is trademarked. Baby shirts, because some people don't like the onesies. Toddler shirts, youth size shirts, and then your adult size shirts. If you did want to offer long sleeves and fulfill with Printful, then you can offer adult long sleeves and youth long sleeves. You just wouldn't be able to offer the toddler or the baby sizes and long sleeves because Printful doesn't have them available. I personally like to use Gildan 64,000 when I'm doing a black or a white t-shirt. They don't have a ton of other colors available, but they are cheaper. The Gildan 64,000 are the cheapest adult t-shirt that Printful offers. They're cheaper than the Bella Canvas. So I personally like to keep it on Gildan for that reason. One of the reasons we're going to keep all of our options to just one color is because we don't want colors not matching. Something that's available in an adult size might not be available in a toddler size. A color that is available in an adult size and in a toddler size might not match because they might be different brands that you're using. And don't get too caught up with, oh no, which brand should I use? If it's a bestseller on Printful, well, that's good enough for me. That matched with or mixed with the idea of it being the cheapest option. And I don't get many complaints on my items. So back up to variations, we're going to add a variation and we want to create your own. I see size there as one of the options, but if we click on that, we're stuck with the scales that they offer. So I prefer to create my own, and I'm going to name it something like choose your size. Now I'm going to go through, and I have this one fast forward, which is why I'm able to do this so fast. And I'm just going to go through and put all my products and the size. So I like to put in there that it's unisex. So unisex T small through unisex T 3XL or 5XL if you want to use the Bella Canvas. Then we'll go through and put our youth sizes and our toddler sizes and our baby shirt sizes and our baby onesie sizes. And FYI, if you forget a size like I did, youth extra large, you could put it and then drag it. You do not have to erase all your work to get it in the right spot. You can just drag it into the right spot. Now we're ready to add another variation, and we're going to call this one Choose Your Phrase. And we're going to basically just go through the same process, and we're going to put all of our phrases that the customer can choose from. Now, this is the really nice part of this. When we go to duplicate, all of our sizes, our variations will be there. We'll just change this out when we change the type of listing that we're doing. We could change just this one drop-down menu or variation. We're going to end this with custom so that our customers can tell us a custom phrase for themselves. Next, we want to take a look here. We don't have to do SKUs vary that unless you're fulfilling with Printify. With Printful, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do quantities, but we do need to do prices vary. And if we do prices vary for both of the drop-down menus, we're going to have to input prices for the small festive, small bougie, small funny. That's going to be a ton of work. Each size with each phrase having to put the price in. So instead, let's go back in and manage our variations. In this drop-down menu, let's make it just our size that the price is going to vary on. So that way we can adjust the prices and look how much easier this is. Unisex T small, unisex T medium, I could just go through and put the prices. I don't have to put an individual price for every size and phrase matched up. Doesn't matter what the phrase is, it's not going to change the price of the shirt. I like to put a loss leader in here. So a 5XL, sometimes I've done that, or maybe a baby size, I've done that. I try to pick something that isn't purchased that often with that listing. If you want to look more into a loss leader, it's just one of your options that's cheaper. I put $9.99 for my quantity there. And since we have custom in the drop-down menu, I'm showing you that here, we want to make sure that we enable personalization. So I'm going to do that by going up. It's right under the description. We're able to enable personalization up there. I'm going to give some directions. I'm going to let them know we only see it if they choose custom from the drop-down menu to make it a little bit easier for me to see when the order comes through that they chose, that they can't just leave me a message there for just anything. They needed to choose custom. And I want to make personalization, I don't want it to be mandatory. So I just toggled that switch over there. That way they can complete their order with or without adding personalization. Because if they did not choose custom, then I don't want them stuck with having to write something in the personalization box. Now I'm just going through and finishing up my attributes for what makes sense. We're using crew neck, we're doing black t-shirts. For clothing style, I never really know what to put. I usually put streetwear or boho. I'll put streetwear for our cousin crew one. An occasion doesn't really make sense here. Christmas. Our graphic, I think I'm going to go with humorous saying. Since our cousin crew phrases are silly and funny. We already have our tags all done. You don't have to put anything for materials. That's up to you. We do need to put something for shipping. I'm going to go ahead and just connect my shop with Printful now. So I am going to go over, I just Googled Printful. I'm going to use Google to sign in, grant access. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to connect my store. Super simple, only take you a minute to connect with Printful. Let's take a second to fix some settings that are going to make it easier for us to find our orders and fulfill with Printful. So you're going to want to go to settings, stores, and then orders. And that's the page that I'm on here. By default, order fulfillment centers is checked off, fulfill my orders at a backup facility. That's fine. You'll probably find that you're going to be having automatically confirm orders to be fulfilled. What is checked off? I like to do manually confirm imported orders. It's really easy to manually confirm. I can select all the orders I have that only have synced items in them and push them through all at once. The reason that I like to have this, and I think it's better to have it when you are doing group orders, is because you're going to wind up with people messaging you in your messages right after they order, or leaving a note with their order, a note to seller. And they might say something like, hey, can you add the year to this for me? Hey, can you add back print for me on these 10 shirts that I just ordered? Hey, I need these by such and such a day. If you can't get them to me, please cancel this. So I want to take care of any of that so I can avoid having to give some huge refund for 10 shirts, 15 shirts. I like to look at my messages before I push them through for the day. It doesn't take me long to do it. And even at the volume that I'm at, this is not stressful at all. So I like to manually confirm imported orders. Next, I want to make sure I have import unsynced orders checked. I'll tell you why in a second. The only way you can check this is if import existing products is also checked. If you want more information about this, you can go to this little spot here, sync as you go, and get more information about all of these tabs here. But the reason I need import unsynced orders to be checked is because that is the only way I'm going to be able to go to my orders tab and see the orders that I'm going to be getting from my group listings, right? So I want to be able to go there and see those orders and start syncing them up. which I'll do in the next video in this series. But this is the tab that's going to allow me to see them over there. I'll review this when I actually go over into the orders tab in the next video and show you what that actually looks like. Now we still need to add shipping to our listing, and I wanted to go ahead and connect Printful and push a listing over from Printful just so I can have the shipping profile there. I could also manually do it myself, which would be fine also, but I felt like this was the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to head to my stores. I'm going to add a product. I'm going to grab a shirt here. You can favorite things and have them right here. I'm going to grab this Gildan. I'm just going to grab one of our cousin designs. I'm going to place it on our t-shirt. I'll show you real quick how you can keep your things organized. You can create folders in here. I'll go ahead and create a Christmas folder, and I will create one specifically for cousins. And then I'm going to create a folder in there for the blank cousin. And then this design I popped in here, I'm going to move it over there so that I have a place to put all of these designs. I'm going to drop it on here. It's telling me that part of my design is out of bounds there, but it's just the transparent bottom of it, so no big deal. I'm going to continue. And I'm just going to push this through. I'm going to keep it deactivated, so it doesn't really matter to me. I just wanted to go ahead and have my shipping profile there so I didn't have to do it manually. Now back over in my listing, I can apply the Printful one. So I'm going to go to shipping settings real quick. I'm going to show you, I tried to make one manual up here. And if you do manual, you just want to make sure you don't do calculate for me, which is recommended. You want to enter your fixed prices manually for shipping. Otherwise, you're going to wind up having to put your more information in, how much it weighs, how much your item weighs, and all this stuff. So, but you could totally also do this like I am here manually. And I'm using the same information that Printful pushed over for me. They said 2 to 6 days. And the one they pushed over for me, I'm using the zip code from Charlotte. USPS first class mail, 1 to 5 business days is what you would select. If you wanted to do this manual, I am putting for United States, you can either do, you could charge for shipping or you could do free shipping. That's up to you and how you're running your shop. And you could just do US if you want and throw everything else away in there. We'll call it Printful t-shirts. We could save the profile instead of connecting with Printful ahead of time and pushing it over. I know that wastes 20 cents. So there's also that way of doing it. So I've got the one that Printful has pushed over, and I also have the one that we did manually. And this one that's calculated here that says, I'm going to throw that away because that one made me have to put extra information in. So don't make that mistake. So now back over in our drafts, I'm going to finish that up now that we put our shipping in there. I showed you how to do it, pushing it over from Printful or making it manual, a manual process. You could do it either way to add your shipping profile. We're going to head back down there. Okay. And so I already jumped in here and did it. So we've got Printful t-shirts, with our shipping profile here now. And now that everything's there, of course, I would really sit and put a description together and I would finish these photos. But for the most part, we're ready to go. So I'm ready to actually publish this. Okay, and then when I go over to my active listings, let's refresh the screen. It's active and it's ready to go. So let's take a second now to view our listing on Etsy to make sure all is well. FYI, my prices are all messed up because I really didn't take into consideration that I was posting this in my digital shop, but the sale I run here is different. So don't write down these prices and go, use the same prices. You won't make any money. My prices would be more like in the 20s, 22 and change, 23 and change. So it would not be $16.50. But we've got all of our selection here with our sizes. Yep, looks like everything's there. And then we've got our phrases. So this is looking good. Again, if I were, really working this up for my shop and going to be leaving it up, I would probably have more like 18 to 24 of these, probably closer to 24 with this type of listing of preset ones, and custom is there. And then let's check our personalization. Yep, it's here. They're going to be able to tell us what their personalization is. So our listing is set up really nice. Looks like everything is there for the customer. So yes, it is a little bit of work, or maybe a lot of work, to set up that first listing. You've got to choose your products. You've got to set all those variations up. But once it's done, it's done. And let me show you how quick and easy it is to make your next listing. All we need to do is go to the right corner there with the little settings wheel and click copy. Now all of our SEO is here, our pictures are here. I'm going to delete all the pictures and pull in the next set of mock-ups I've created. And then I might be ready to just publish as is, if I'm using this same block of SEO. If I'm changing the SEO, then I would need to change that also. Now let's go into manage variations. If I'm doing, I would personally do at least, 15 or 20 of this exact set after I did all of this. But if maybe I'm doing something else cousin related, and now I need to just erase them and put my new variations in for my phrases. And just to make sure I said that clearly, I would be doing several sets with completely different layouts for the bougie cousin, the drunk cousin, so on and so forth. So I wouldn't need to do anything other than duplicate the listing that I created. I leave my SEO. I would just take out all of the photos, mock-up photos, and I would drop in the new mock-up photos of the new design. And when I go to switch niches and I want to offer all of these products in that listing also, then I would just still duplicate from this listing, and I would simply erase the mock-up photos and create new variations for the phrases and put new blocks of SEO in there. Now remember, you won't have anything synced. So in the next video, I'll show you what to do when you get a group order where you need to go in and sync your designs to your order. If you want to give this a shot, I will leave a link to Printful down below, or you can Google them. It is kind of fun. Anyone who signs up with the link, with my link, I don't see your name. I just see the first initial of your first name, but it tracks, and I can see, oh, it took them so many months to get their first order, and then for the first year, I'm able to kind of see what activity you're having in your shop. So it's really fun to watch when certain shops just start scaling. Don't forget to boop the like button if you found this helpful, and hug the subscribe button if you don't want to miss the next one. If you want to see how I would set up one of these listings with Printify, you can continue hanging out with me here, but of course not until after that tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.